Hi, my name is Joanie Eisinger. Welcome to my channel. If you'd like to find out more about how I became able to do this, please go to my website, www.jonieswhitelighthealing.com. You could find me on LinkedIn. You could find me on SoundCloud. You could find me on Facebook under Joanie Eisinger. Please message me and let me know how you found me because I don't friend people I don't know. Please like my fan page on Facebook, Joanie's White Light Healing. Okay, so if you'd like a private session, I do Skype and I do Facebook video. I also do phone for folks who are not local to Central New Jersey. So with that being said, I got a request from someone to do a YouTube video regarding family tapes and blocks and releasing the old family of origin stuck points and how they interfere with people moving forward. So we could also possibly include PTSD in that. Now, I was a therapist before becoming gifted with abilities, and in my training, I learned the very clinical term, this is back in the 80s, regarding PTSD, and we pretty much associated it with bomb victims and soldiers and people that had seen very, very dramatic, traumatic events and how there was fallout as a result. But I'm going to use PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, in a very casual way. And I'm going to be using it in the terms of people who have fallout regarding trauma and that they have difficulty moving forward and that there are things that trigger them and that they somehow fall back into that fear mode from the past. So again, I never know. Joanie doesn't have expectations regarding what's going to come through, but I have an idea because I put out the intention as Joanie what the theme is going to be. The highest of Christ light come in. These are the enlightened ones that I work with: ascended masters, archangels, angels, departed ones, guides, elementals, consciousnesses, star beings. These are the ones as a collective that come through and work through me for you. The other intention is that this is a reading for the collective. Spirit, God, source, I am, presence, creator, however you'd like to call the one that is all of us together as a collective, knows who will be watching this video. So it is made for anyone who might pick up this video at any time, despite the fact that it's Sunday, February 2nd of 2020, 02/02/2020, which I learned is a palindrome that only happens every 9 years. This is a timeless piece. Okay, so I'm going to go in now and I'm going to see what Spirit has to say for those that need to hear this. Here we go. Okay, so I also get a lot of metaphors, so I get into the literal and I get into the figurative regarding this. So what I first got was you need to stay on your own 2 feet. So there are 2 things here. One has to do with being grounded and the other has to do with your feet in relation to someone else's. So the first part that we're going to get into is there are a lot of people that are shaken up regarding their past and that they are in a fear state and that as a result they are not grounded. What is grounding? Maybe you've heard this, but I'm going to explain it. I've explained it in other videos and I will keep explaining this over and over again because it's so important. So when it comes through, I am guided to explain it again. Okay, so you're a spirit in a body. Mother Earth is a spirit in a giant rock. Okay, and we live on her. She loves us and we love her, and it's a symbiotic relationship. We need to be hooked in order to do what we need to do here. If our spirits become unstuck and we're not grounded into her spirit, we get wavy, gravy, and floaty and surfy and unsure and shaky. If you are in trauma, if you're in a trauma state and you're not grounded, if your spirit kind of unhooks, whether it's before the trauma, at the point of trauma, probably after the trauma, it makes it more difficult for you to heal. So what I strongly suggest is grounding. A great grounding affirmation you do when you first wake up, and you put your feet on the floor and you say, I imagine the soles of my feet being one with the earth, like roots of a tree growing deep into the earth for strength and stability. I'm going to say it again. I imagine the soles of my feet being one with the earth, like roots of a tree for strength and stability. And the reason why I'm laughing inside, if you saw me hesitate, is that I used to know this by heart and I would say it for a few years like that. And now when I wake up, I put my feet on the floor and I just say the word grounding. I simplified it to just grounding. You can say it out loud. You could say it inside. So grounding is very, very important. You might start to feel energy come up through your feet. You might start to feel tingly. And the whole point of it is for you to feel more solid and anchored. There are also grounding stones that have specific healing properties that will ground you to the earth. They are shungite, onyx, jet, granite, hematite, smoky quartz, and tourmaline. So if you have any of them around, take one, put it in your pocket, put it in your wallet, put it on your dresser, put it in your bathroom, kitchen counter, put it in your car, wherever you'd like. Polished is always good if you've got pockets. I once put a point in one of my jeans pockets and it made a hole. So that is grounding. So that is the first suggestion that is being made for you, is to ground yourself. Sometimes people feel so grounded that they take the healing stone, the grounding stone, and they put it away. They don't carry it anymore, that they might be too in their head, too earthbound, and then they need to just put it aside. So if you find you don't need it, you shelve it. Now, regarding your own 2 feet, beyond your own 2 feet, it seems that you might be very, very hooked in to the trauma, to the original precipitating event that occurred, possibly with family members and or caregivers. And as a result of that, you are having difficulty with boundaries. You have not separated from family members who have offered you information that is illusory, that is a lie, that is not truth, that is not real about who you are and what happened. You might be replaying this over and over again. As a result, your own 2 feet, it's really, where do you end and I begin? This is about boundaries, separation. Let's do a healing regarding this. If any of you are identifying with this now and you feel that you replay events over and over again, that you have not separated, that your boundaries are poor, where you don't know where you end and they begin, where you're in a hyperloop, where you have great triggering and sensitivities regarding family of origin and caregivers, and that it's very difficult for you to move forward, this healing is for you. Let's do this. Across time and space, forwards and backwards across all generations, wherever there are those aforementioned issues that block you from separating, from being grounded, from standing on your own 2 feet and being anchored and settled and more centered and healed, we ball up all those lifetimes and you say inside, I forgive myself. Great. Someone's mouth is very tired of yapping. There's a lot of chatting and yapping and talking. There's some crying and screeching and screaming, and there's some self-pity. All of this is coming up from the mouth. There's a lot of horror and exclaiming and tightness right here. There's a lot of tightness and clenching and anger and suffering all here in the mouth Getting a lot of this. A lot of this is clearing as a result of your forgiving yourself here in this lifetime and in all of the lifetimes where you did not forgive yourself in relation to those aforementioned issues. Next step, forgive everyone and everything. Oh, a lot of suffering. There's a lot of blame that's coming up. A lot of you have been finger pointing, blame, 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 blame. And you've forgotten this is an earth school and there are no victims. Judgment separates you from the collective and you incur karma. I highly suggest that you do spiritual distancing. If any of you are blaming family members, caregivers, the original folks that started this drama where you got in the hyperlink of overthinking and fearing and doubting. Next step, ask for everyone and everything's forgiveness. Please, all of you, forgive me because I had unforgiveness towards you. Good. Thank God for these life lessons. And when I mean God, I mean the collective as the oneness, the infinite intelligence that we all are. Have a sip of water that will help flush negative energies through the physical body. And if you need to get a glass of water, pause the video and come right back. Okay, I'm going to go back in and see what more there has to be said for y'all. There's self-pity, the why me whimpering. And as a result of your feeling like a victim, there is a lot of neglect. So many of you are neglecting yourselves. You've forgotten why you're here, which is okay. The veil is over you. The veil of forgetfulness, the veil of unknowing, whatever you'd like to call this. You are here to experience a hardship, perhaps. Could be pre-birth planned, might have been post-incarnation free will choice, but whatever the case, you planned for this to occur or shit happened. It went down like this. Whatever the case, there are no victims. There's a massive release going on right now for those of you that are suffering. I feel it. There are waves coming in. A lot of you that are so angry and so full of blame and judgment, finger pointing. There are angels with you now and they talk to you. A lot of suffering, a lot of fuck, why me? I don't get it. Why, over and over again. And there's the hyperloop. Trying to figure out why. I've read in spiritual literature that why is one of the most useless, if not the most useless question that one could ask. People come to me and ask why, and there's an answer, but in terms of the why me, that is about victimization and self-pity. We all knew what the landscape was coming in before we incarnated. We wanted it this way. We like it this way. This is a really kick-ass planet, and it's a really hard one to incarnate on, and not everyone comes into this physical reality to experience obstacles for soul growth opportunity. You chose to be here. You are one of those brave souls. So if you've been blaming and self-pitying, perhaps give yourself a pat on the back. Take the V off of you, the V for victim, not the A for adultery as in the scarlet letter, the V for victim. Take it off your chest. It's moot. It doesn't belong. And the finger pointing, if you can retract that finger and bring it down and say, hey, I don't think that's called for anymore. It makes no sense. I might have asked them to do that so I could learn, so I could have the opportunity to learn. Or I did that before and I blamed them and I incurred karma with them. So they did that back to me again. I didn't learn then, but I have the opportunity to learn now. The F word, folks, forgiveness, that underrated F word that I talk about comes right in here. So if you're blaming, you need to get this straight. This is an even playing field. This is a school. We love it here. We do. You get the opportunity right now. It sounds like a game show. Right now, you too can forgive. Let's take all of you who are doing the blaming which causes you to get in such a state where you're so stuck. We ball up all the lifetimes, including this one, where you've incurred karma, where you're blaming and you've forgotten why you're here. And as a result, your mind just races and it just keeps going over and over again, where the family issues, the dramas, they just are in your way because you haven't gotten past what family of origin and caregivers have done to you. And we ball up all of those lifetimes. And you say inside, I forgive myself. Yeah. True. See a lot of true healing. They use the word true healing. It's very genuine, very authentic. They say congratulations. Forgive everyone and everything. Ask for everyone and everything's forgiveness and thank God for these life lessons. Have a sip of water. Good. Good. I'm going back in. Let's see what more Spirit has to say for you. Okay. They want me to do some readings for those who are watching regarding why you might have chosen to be in the situation that you're in. So I'm just going to be randomly channeling, and I believe there will be souls that will be able to identify with this. If this doesn't resonate specifically, it could be metaphor. So take it, and it might not be literal. So go into the figurative, go into that metaphor that it might be symbolic, but Spirit might be talking to you. So someone fell off a chair, and this could be a high chair or just a chair. I see a toddler, so I see a 1-year-old. So I see there's a chair there, and I see someone hit their head, and that there was a lot of blame that was placed on them about being clumsy, and as a result, you would fall. There's a lot of falling and dropping of things, and that I see people laughing, and I see people making fun of you. Because of clumsiness, and that you started to say that to yourself. Well, I always lose things, I trip myself up, and I'm always falling down. Nothing is right. I keep tripping, falling, and I don't get things right. So if that does resonate with you, do the forgiveness work. What I see metaphorically is you were put in a high position, and that you were taken down because there's another lifetime where you were in a high position and someone took you down, and it happened again. That you went to your passing in that other lifetime because someone took you down and you blamed yourself and other. Let's get rid of that. Forgive yourself. Forgive everyone and everything. Ask for everyone and everything's forgiveness and thank God for this and these life lessons. Going back in regarding those that need to know more about why, what happened to them. Yeah, now I see someone's carrying a jar and the jar broke and they were made fun of. You always get that wrong. You broke that. Why did you break that? I had that for a long time. Why did you do that? Is it that you didn't like me? There's someone who has a parent, or the parent is no longer with you, but there was a parent that was very, very critical, and that if something happened, they blamed you, but then they took it personally as if you didn't like them. I'm not sure whether they were sensitive, whether they were sadistic, whether they had a borderline personality disorder, some or all of the above. If that's the case, I do see you're being terrified of everything, that there's a sheer terror regarding any misstep that you could make. There is so much work being done on you for those of you that have lived in conditions that were so frightening, that the eyes were on you, that you were belittled, and that for some of you, that it was always about the caregiver, the parent or the caregiver, that it was always about them, that if something went wrong, so are you messing with me? Did you do that on purpose? Why do you hate me? And then as a result, they would lash out at you. Let's get rid of karma, across time and space, forwards and backwards, across all generations. Sheer terror, belittlement, and then also we'll throw in the parent that was possibly paranoid, sensitive, sadistic, possible having a borderline personality disorder, and it was all about them, and they thought you hated them, and therefore you were always frightened that anything could happen at any time and you couldn't do anything right. And maybe you now say that to yourself, that nothing I do is right. Forgive yourself. Ah, huge, huge. There's a light that's on you right now. It's like a lantern. It's almost like one of those seasonal affective disorder full spectrum lights. It's got all the colors. It's a white light that's just a beacon that's just shining on you for healing right now. Next step, forgive everyone and everything. Ask for everyone and everything's forgiveness and thank God for these life lessons, and have a sip of water. Some of you were beaten and some of you were neglected and not fed enough and not cared for enough. I see physical abuse, and I see also neglect. So I had just addressed mental, verbal, emotional abuse, and now we're on physical abuse and neglect. Some of you, your hair is falling out. Some of you, you're weather worn. You're very tired. Your skin appears slightly off. I don't know if you're ashen, whether there are wrinkles that are coming out and you really didn't expect for it to happen this way. So I don't know what it is about the wrinkles, but you're looking tired. And some people's hands are weak, and the hands oftentimes represent fighting. It might not be physical, but fighting or staving off someone. So some people are having difficulty with their hands as well. Someone's back hurts very, very, very much. There's a twinge going up their right scapula. Someone's ear, it's their left ear burns. They've heard many, many things that are very awful. Their left ear burns. Someone's sight is getting increasingly okay. Someone is starting to see what this all is about. And as a result of their seeing what is revealed to them about what they've gone through, they see more clearly. That's fantastic. So just hold on tight, because you brave soul, you chose to see truth, to have things revealed to you so you could see it better. Good. You went up the next Tetris level. Good. See a lot of spanking and hitting. Someone was choked. Someone's mind has a lot of difficulty wrapping their head around things. Sometimes they get lost and they drift. Someone gets drifty, that they've been through so much that they get foggy. Whatever the case, we're now going to address physical abuse and neglect, which would also include starvation and not being able to eat enough. People need a lot of rest as well. People who are suffering regarding the emotional, verbal, mental, physical, and the neglect. A bunch of y'all aren't sleeping well. Hold on to your pillow. Have tissues by you if you need to cry. You're okay. We're all in this together. This is a collective of love. So we are all here. So you can call out to all of us. Call out to the highest of Christ's light, to those that are of high vibration, to come and assist you. We're all in this together. We ball up all of those lifetimes. Physical abuse and the neglect. Forgive yourself. There's damage, someone's vocal cords, the screaming, crying. They'll be worked on. Forgive everyone and everything. Ask for everyone and everything's forgiveness and thank God for these life lessons. Good. Now we're going to get to the sexual abuse. Some of you are martyrs. You won't talk about it. You're being worked on in the ethers. Some of you need help. You need to talk about this. Find professional help. Very, very, very strongly suggested. Find someone you trust, preferably word of mouth, a very, very good therapist. Might be difficult for you to imagine what I've shared before and what I'm sharing now, that many of you pre-birth planned to be harmed, whether it's verbal, emotional, mental, physical, sexual, or neglected. I highly recommend 2 books that deal with pre-birth planning. One is called Your Soul's Plan, and the other is Your Soul's Gift, both by Robert Schwartz, Schwartz. And in those books, you'll learn more about why a person would pre-birth plan to have challenges like what I've been discussing. If you did not pre-birth plan for your specific situation to occur in this lifetime, it means it's post-incarnation or after birth free will choice. That due to the choices you made, it led you to this place, and these events occurred. Again, there are no victims. Everything is okay. All is divinely ordered. This is an earth school for soul growth opportunity. So whether you were raped, incested, fondled, whether there was sexually inappropriate comments, dealings, whether you witnessed things, whether you were prostituted, and whatever happened as a result of any of this, Spirit knows you have not been forsaken. Many, many people have gone through what you have been through. You might have been trafficked, could have been kidnapped, could have been sold, could have been in a cult. You could have been given up by the family. You might have had people not believe you when you spoke about it. Whatever the case, you are loved. You have not been forsaken. All is well. And if you have not gotten help and you feel you need to, there is help available for you always. Let's get rid of karma. This lifetime and all others across time and space, forwards and backwards across all generations, where you might have blamed yourself and or other, that causes you in this lifetime to be in a fear state, hyperloop of thinking, fear, triggering, crying, immobile, not being able to follow through with your plans, where you're lonely, you could have sexual dysfunction, you might have no interest in sex, you might not want to have any relationships, maybe relationships keep falling through, you might blame and hate, self-pity. Please say inside, I forgive myself. Oh, there's love streaming through the ethers. It's fabulous. You are held. You are loved. You will be reminded of that. Archangel Raphael is with you, the healer. Someone's stomach is rumbling. After this, they say, have a carrot. Someone likes beets, tomatoes, cucumber, celery. Again, there's the tomato, the radish, carrot. These are the foods that will assist. Not everyone, but folks who are watching will understand. Forgive everyone and everything. Ask for everyone and everything's forgiveness. Please, all of you, forgive me because I had unforgiveness towards you. I get that for some of you this is torture, that this is very difficult. I understand. Don't do anything that you aren't ready to do. Thank God for these life lessons. They say dream of a better tomorrow. So, some of you who are caught up in your head, in fear with the doubt and the blocks due to family trauma, they'd like for you to move forward, that you've been in a gerbil wheel, it just keeps going round and round, that you could get off, you could step off whenever you'd like. What do you want to see next? How do you envision your future? If you could write it down or speak on it or make a vision board, what would it look like? You can be specific. If it manifests, it is for your highest good. Don't expect, because God laughs when you make plans, and don't push the river, let it flow. So do this as an exercise. For those of you who are stuck, try and move out of that and see whether you can envision plans, dreams, desires, wishes, intentions. That's the first step. Then energize it. Take steps towards making it happen. There is no time frame on this. You just pace yourself. If you have been PTSDing, if you've been in a state of trauma and fear, it might take you a bit longer than another person to get on board in this manifestation. And that's fine. There's no judgment here. You just take it day by day and pace yourself. I'm going to go back in and see whether Spirit has anything more to say. Well, I get that this is also about confidence, about increasing your confidence. So it would be a good idea if you write down some positive affirmations on a piece of paper and carry them with you, or have them on Post-its or pieces of paper on your dresser, on your night table, on your bathroom mirror, like on a Post-it. Maybe have one on your dashboard in your car if you have a car, in your wallet. Just the word love is very powerful. It's a very high frequency. Yes, I can. Patience. I believe in myself. Truth. Peace. It's interesting. The word I get is settle, like settle down. Like settle, like just settle down. That might bring you down a notch. Here I am present. All is well. Those are some things that you could put down on a piece of paper. You could put them all down, or you could put down what you like, or just one. It's all up to you. There are no shoulds here. These are just suggestions. Words can be broken down into a frequency. And these frequencies are high frequency affirmations, and they'll help raise your vibration and move you from a lower vibration place to a better place. There are no shoulds regarding how long you're to say affirmations. Look at them. You just do it if you want to. And if you stop, you can. You could throw them out. You could put them in a drawer, take them out again at another time. This is a play space, this earth. This is a creative space that is so phenomenal. We can create miracles here. A really good movie. I always say make a good movie. So you can. Affirmations help. Going in one last time to see if there's anything more. No. So between now and when you go to sleep, sip water. That will help flush any negative energies through the physical body. If you feel tired, that makes sense. You have released a lot. If you feel lighter, that also makes sense. Again, if you're interested in having a reading or a healing with me, please go to my website and you'll find out so much more about who I am and what I'm able to do and how I can assist you. With this video, please like this video if you did, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel, press the all bell icon, which is to the right of subscribe, and then you'll receive all the notifications of when I put out another video. And share this video if you want to share it with other people to let them know that I'm here. Comment if this resonates with you. Anything that resonates, it's so heartwarming for me. It really makes me smile to know that I am addressing these issues and that there are folks out there that enjoy what's coming through and that are being helped by this. And I'm going to sign off. If Spirit asks you to bake a blueberry pie and you don't know why, just bake the fucking pie. So that's what we've got for today. Have a great day. Bye, y'all.